and eventually the results came in July 5th, which is a memorable day for me, obviously. And then I am associated with, currently I am getting trained at Vishakhapatnam. So I am a trainee deputy collector at Vishakhapatnam. The only thing that my grandfather told me was like, I want to see you as civil servant. As the years grew, I did attempts. I missed UPSC attempts and at various stages with very few margins. For APPSC, I haven't taken any coaching. So people will talk about coaching. The first question I'll face at any public interaction is, where do you have taken your coaching? So unfortunately, I don't know what to say to them. So I'll say I haven't been coached, obviously. So I self-prepared for APPSC too. You can stick with standard books and NCERT textbooks and Telugu Academy textbook. That itself will do. For any student, daily 8 hours is doable. It is just 1/3 of your day. Again, you will get 2/3 of your day out of 24 hours. 8 hours you can sleep. 8 hours you can do whatever you want, but still you got 8 hours to study. That should be your motto. 1/3 of the day. Utilize 1/3 of the day. That's it. Limit your entertainments, limit your distractions. As I'm saying, if you don't give too much of attention to them, first of all. If you want to become a YouTuber, please go ahead and do that. Don't fall into this competitive world or rat race. But if you are aiming for it, don't fall for that validation game. And you can become an influencer in later stages of life. And currently, prepare for competitive exam. That's what. Because the examination needs 8 hours or 8 to 10 hours of study. Even let it be NEET or let it be IIT or let it be UPSC or APPSC, it requires that amount of minimal time or minimal dedication per day. If you are a near miss, let us say you missed being an IAS officer with 1 or 2 marks in your interview. So again, eventually you might be losing hope for a month or two. Again, your mind will, because you have that zeal, you have that enthusiasm, again you will revamp totally and you will start preparation. So that ray of hope will always be generated, because you are an aspirant, you know how to prepare, obviously. So if you give one more attempt, you might succeed, right?
Yes.
That ray of hope will always be there. But coming to working women, again, keeping their kids at home and going outside and presenting themselves towards to the work, and at the same time missing their kids, and as you said, facing the criticism of leaving their kids and going into the society, that itself is again another ball game that requires guts, and women will become super women over there.
Hello viewers, welcome back to Genetic YouTube channel. I am Lalita. Today we are going to do a new video with Dr. Rani Susmitha, who is APPSC Group 1 Rank 1 holder and is also currently the Deputy Collector of Vishakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Lalita, for such a warm welcome.
Yeah, pleasure is ours. And ma'am, first of all, congratulations for all the success you have, which has come onto your plate. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't a bed of roses, the path that you have been through. So, ma'am, shall we start with your background? So, where are you from? Which kind of background are you from?
Basically, I'm from a small village called Pittapuram near Kakinada, East Godavari district. Now, erstwhile East Godavari. So I have studied till 10th class over there. So my schooling happened at Pridarshini Residential High School at Pittapuram itself. And I was at Pittapuram because it is my maternal grandparents' place, actually. So my father himself is a central government employee, and he'll get usually transferred across India. And he got feared that I'm a girl child and my education might get disturbed during the transfers, because once he'll be at Assam, once he'll be at Kashmir. So he's associated with Central Silk Road. So there are so many places he usually will get transferred. So he left me at my maternal grandparents' place, and I have been raised by them. So that's why I have been at Pittapuram since my childhood. And my grandparents, they are my real parents, actually. So because they have raised me and they have they took care of me totally, and they inculcated so many values in me, and they inculcated the educational gene in me first of all. So till 10th class, I was at Pitapuram, and 11th and 12th I did at Aditya Intermediate College, Kakinada, and graduation. I'm associated with VS Lakshmi Women's College, Kakinada. So my graduation is in BSc Biotechnology, Biochemistry and Chemistry. And then my PG is in MBA Healthcare Management at Hyderabad Central University. Followed by I cleared UGC NET, and my PhD is with NIT Trichy in Healthcare Management again.
So you come from an academic background, is what I understand.
Totally.
Why did you choose civil services? Why APPSC? What is the motivation behind choosing this path?
Yeah. So I'm not a civil service aspirant initially, but my grandfather is a big fanatic, I can say. So he is a literary person actually. So he has done 2 MAs, MA in Telugu, MA in Hindi, and he also have done MA in Sanskrit. So he's multilinguist, multiliterary person. And in our family, it runs that we are literary enthusiasts first of all. So he's very proud of it, and but his aim is to get his sons, that means my maternal uncles or me, into civil services. That is his very ultimate aim. So when I am a kid, my maternal uncles are aspirants as well. They were preparing for groups, they were preparing for UPSC totally. So I'm a small kid then. I used to be in my LKG, UKG, first standard. I used to see them prepare. They'll be preparing for huge competitive exams, studying, just like the current students, 8 to 10 hours, morning to evening. But I'm a small kid doing my chaos and disturbing them, obviously. But the only thing that my grandfather told me was like, I want to see you as civil servant. But the only thing I ever wanted is, to have a library full of books, especially fantasy books, and eat, be merry, and read books till I die in my library. So that is my ultimate motive. But initially I was a MBBS aspirant though. At when I'm writing it, there is no NEET. It is MSET, we call in Andhra, obviously you might be knowing. Yeah, and I gave my MSET, and my rank was, I just missed MBBS in my first attempt. So I was getting dental, and I was getting physiotherapy, I was getting BSc Agriculture, everything. So I got with the rage that I didn't got the rank, I didn't went for long term, and I have taken my BSc Biotechnology, Biochemistry and Chemistry, and I finished it. So then I realized, when I was in graduation, I realized there is huge scope out there. There are central universities, there are IITs which are offering PG. So, and there will be research degrees after that. So I was very much attracted towards them. So only I studied hard for a central university seat. So my entire path became diverted after my graduation. So once I am at Central University, I came to know, very big institutions in India and across the world are offering, healthcare management or management in general. So I was applying for IIMs as well for PhD at that point of time. Now also IIMs are the stalwarts for management degrees, obviously. So just like CAT, there is also one more exam called RAT, Research Aptitude Test, to get into IIMs for PhD as a PhD scholar. So I gave RAT when the general cutoff was around 98.8 percentile, and I got 98.7. So it is, I missed with the 0.01 percentile. So immediately I applied to IITs and NITs. I got through NIT Trichy because the counseling happened very early. I joined. I didn't want to waste 1 year. So I joined NIT Trichy for my PhD. And let me say this thing as well. I finished my PhD in a very short span. I hardly submitted in 2 years, 8 months, and I got within 3 years. And
Wow.
during PG also, At Central University. I'm a gold medalist, and I also I have received gold medal from then Governor of Andhra Pradesh. And during my PG, I have also received Young Achievers Award from Sri APJ Abdul Kalam sir, our President of India. And when I finished my PhD at NIT Tirchi within very short span, there I also published books with Springer UK. I also published so many research articles.
Okay.
And I have patents as well on my name, obviously, because I am an academician initially. So I was doing pretty well academically, but my grandfather's dream haunted him still. So then after my PhD, he asked me, you should get into civil service. I was planning for my postdoc. Then, I was applying for NUS, National University of Singapore. I was almost accepted. I need to fill in some papers and need to do the processing. I just want to fly off. Then my father told, no, please give an attempt towards UPSC. His main aim is UPSC union. So obviously I was preparing. I was not at all in a mood to prepare for UPSC then, because I just finished my PhD. I'm a research enthusiast then. I want to just fly off or just be in India, finish my postdoc and do further in research. Then once he insisted me to look towards civil services, so I inculcated the zeal. Obviously, when I am going through civil services, it caught my attention, and I was also very interested to read the happenings and read the practical things which is happening in front of our society. So likewise my zeal started, and I immediately joined as an assistant professor at one college, and I was parallelly preparing for UPSC then. By and when I used to get time, I used to go to Delhi. I used to stay at Old Rajendra Nagar. I used to buy some books or materials, whatever it is there. I used to come back again. I used to continue with my work. I used to continue with my preparation. So that used to be the basic fund of my life. And then as the years grew, I did attempts. I missed UPSC attempts and at various stages with very few margins though. And that even though I missed UPSC attempts, I was not discouraged that much because I am growing academically pretty well.
Okay.
So I have been one of the principal to MBA B school at Bangalore. I have been vertical head admissions and branding. I have been vertical head international relations at one of the renowned university at Bangalore. So I was doing pretty well academically. So I'm very happy with my job. Then, out of the blue, 2018 APPSC Group 1 notification came. I applied, and here I am today, obviously. So I prepared well for it, and 2018 notification results came in 2022. It took 4 years for the results to come. In between, Corona was a hit, obviously, and there were some issues with it. So the results were announced twice for the prelims, twice for the mains, and then the interviews happened, and eventually the results came in July 5th, which is a memorable day for me, obviously. And then I am associated with, currently I am getting trained at Vishakhapatnam. So I am a trainee deputy collector at Vishakhapatnam. And the training will be almost for 1 to 1.5 year. And after that, I'll get my posting. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, wonderful, ma'am. Ma'am, I think I connect with you with grandfather's obsession with civil services. I really connect with you with that. So, in between, you were mentioning something about your plans to fly off. So, can you tell your opinion on brain drain, which is happening for many years actually?
Yeah, that's true. And unfortunately, many people will fly off and they won't return. They'll feel comfortable over there and they'll settle off. If they return, that will be much great and much good. So when I am in that plan of flying off, the only thing my grandfather told is this thing, service to government is service to God. So you have been in this country and you should do service, because in my family everyone are government service personnel. So he used to say that, don't underestimate government job. So I used to say, flying abroad, we can earn more, we can settle comfortably, we can we can see the world, we can roam the world, we can, I used to think like that, just like current any youth who have finished their PhD, everyone wants to go to abroad to do their postdoc or do their Doctor of Science. So that is my entire perspective. But he used to say, no, someone should take the lead, someone should stay back, someone should correct what is happening in the society, someone should start cleaning, then only the mess will get clean. So you should be that someone. That is his motto. So when talking about brain drain, obviously, so I am a obsessive person who wants to go to abroad and get settled as well. But my entire perspective has been changed only because of my grandfather. So his name is Sri PLN Sharma, Peri Lakshmi Narasimha Sharma, and he has been very influential figure in my life, obviously. So unfortunately, when I achieved this, he was no more. I miss him so much, but I definitely knew that wherever he is, he'll be dancing with joy. He'll be feeling very proud of me because I fulfill his wish eventually. Yeah. And yeah, coming towards your question, brain drain, I think that people should get settled in India, because if you see the statistics, even the doctor per capita doctor ratio or per capita nurses ratio is pretty low in India. But the doctors who are flying to foreign countries are Indians mostly. The nurses who are flying to foreign countries are Indians mostly. So if we retain the talented personnel or qualified personnel within India, our country will definitely do much better, much greater things can be witnessed with the only greatest power India is having, and India will have in future, the human resource power. Yeah.
I think I totally agree with you. Actually, I think when we take responsibility, then the place we are, will develop for sure. So, okay, ma'am, coming back to APPSC, can you share the strategy you follow with us? Like what things you have done, what things should not be done by an aspirant, things like that.
Yeah. So usually, for APPSC, I haven't taken any coaching. So people will talk about coaching. The first question I'll face at any public interaction is, where do you have taken your coaching? So unfortunately, I don't know what to say to them. So I'll say I haven't been coached, obviously. So I self-prepared for APPSC totally. Yeah, even I have taken help during my mock interview stage, definitely. But APPSC will be happening. Let me start with basics of APPSC. What is what for your viewers and audience as well. Sure. APPSC or UPSC will have 3 stages. Most of the syllabus of UPSC and APPSC are almost same. The syllabus has been revamped almost last 2 notifications before APPSC. Okay. Till then, the syllabus used to be very varied, but now almost same. In fact, you need to read much more than UPSC for APPSC, because apart from Indian syllabus, you need to read state syllabus as well. Okay. So APPSC will consist of 3 stages: prelims, mains, and interview, obviously. In prelims, we have 2 papers, paper A, paper B, let us call that, or GS1, GS2. So paper A again consists of history, geography, polity, and economy. Paper B consists of science and technology, current affairs, and mental ability. And the combination of 2 scores of paper A and B will give you prelim score. And if you top, obviously you'll get the chance to write mains. And in mains also we'll have general essay, general qualifying English, qualifying Telugu, and GS 1, 2, 3, 4 papers. So, and then if you finish your mains, then you'll get selected for interview. And once you get selected for interview, there are so many posts under Group 1. So the first category of post is Deputy Collector. Second category is DSP, followed by Commercial Tax Officer and Registrar, Treasurer, MPDOs, District Tribal Welfare Officers, District Social Welfare Officers. Every district office heads will be recruited through Group 1. Okay. So that is the entire Group 1 phenomena. Now coming to my strategy. So usually for students, I'll suggest around 8 to 9 hours of studying for this examination per day, because it is one of the toughest examinations, and the success ratio is pretty low. Just like IIT, I can say. IIT and UPSC are on par and equivalent, and APPSC also will join the race. So almost 4 or 5 lakhs people will appear, and hardly 140, 150 will qualify. That's it, eventually. So it's very tough to cope up with all the stages. It's very tough to be motivated for 4 long years, or sometimes it is minimum 2 years game. Sometimes if any issue happens, it can be postponed. So let us assume 2+ years. You should be continuously motivated, and the uncertainty will kill the people. What is happening? What about my future? And where am I leading? And after preparing these many years also, there won't be any output visible to our parents or friends. Let us say I have seen aspirants who will prepare for UPSC or APPSC for 10-12 long years. So after 10 years, if he didn't qualify APPSC, there is nothing, no degree in his hand, nothing. He's just an aspirant, that's it. But 10 years of hard work won't be recognized by the society, obviously, right? So this is always one of the toughest path, and I need to actually give kudos to the people who will choose this path, first of all, because it is testing times at every stage. It is a litmus to your patience, it is a litmus to your consistency, it is a litmus to your hard work. So at every stage, not at one stage. So my strategy used to be, at that point of time I was working as well, and I'm at very elite position. I was heading one B school at Bangalore. So I need to handle both academicians, non-academicians at the same time, PG students of MBA and UG students of BBA. So it used to be very hectic, but still I used to manage around 4 to 5 hours of net per day for my studies. So morning before world wakes up, I used to manage 2 hours of my study. So usually 5 to 7 I used to study, and during my office hours I used to finish off current affairs, magazine reading, newspaper reading. So which I used to give around 1 to 2 hours. At evening, when I come home and I'm done with my office work and household work, I used to sit and study 2 to 3 hours. That used to be my strategy. And one more thing which needs and which is required for APPSC is continuous revision of textbooks. There will be varied subjects, and we should be thorough with the basics of various subjects. So only if you actually, come across with an APPSC aspirant or UPSC aspirant, he is jack of all trades. He knows everything about every subject under there. So you should be just like that. See, it is very different with IIT or NEET, I can say, because there you will be master of 3 subjects, 3 main subjects. And if you attain mastery over there, and if you know the game of solving MCQs over there, you might cross the examination with flying colors. Here, your objective knowledge will get tested at prelims. Again, your subjective knowledge will get tested. And in subjective knowledge, again, your general studies knowledge will get tested in general essay. Your language skills will get tested. And your ability on toes by tackling, bouncer questions, which you haven't read about in an essay format, will be tested. And after that, eventually your personality will be tested in an interview. So it is the ultimate test, we can say. So it's always, we need to build up our basics using textbooks. So that is main thing. And we need to do lots of revision so that we won't forget the basics, just like NEET students or IIT students will do. Again, we need to do lots and lots of revisions and re-revisions with the help of textbooks. So usually textbooks, we stick to our NCRTs till 12th class. And after that, for APPSC, we need to stick with Telugu Academy textbooks of graduation. So BA Telugu Academy first year, second year, third year textbooks of graduation. So and for current affairs, we need to stick with 1 or 2 daily newspapers and monthly magazine called Yojana. So this will suffice, but you need to do so much of analysis of topics, subtopics, and you should be ready to write about anything under the world, under the sky, obviously. So that should be your preparation actually. And coming to MCQs, you need to solve more question papers. Obviously, people might be knowing you need to solve more MCQs just to handle the game. And coming to writing essays, it is continuous practice actually. Every day we need to practice more. We need to practice 2 or 3 questions minimum. So that continuous practice will give an edge to your answers, and you need to beautify the answers as well. That will add different dimensions to the answers. So that's how you need to prepare for your mains. And coming to interview, obviously interviews again different ball game. So before going to interview, there will be one application called detailed application form, also called as DAF form, where you will be asked so many questions. It is just like a Harvard School essay interview. You will be asked about various opinions on various things. Mention 2 or 3 incidents which I've done for the society. So choice is yours. You can mention anything which you have done for the society, and mention your achievements where you think you have actually inculcated your administrative skills or something like that. So the question will be like that, very general. You can write and it will be given way ahead of the interview. So you need to fill it and you need to upload it and take it along with you to your interview. So you'll get ample of time to fill it. So it's all, how you have experienced this world and how you are seeing this world through your eyes. That's what matters. So they want to test your personality by asking those questions. So likewise, so many questions will be asked. Your hobbies will be asked, where you have studied, what are your achievements, and what do you do to society once you qualify this exam. Such questions will be asked. So we need to fill those questions and we need to go for the interview. And in interview, the questions will again come from mostly DAF, a detailed application form. They'll discuss why you have written this, why not this. So what is the motto of you to write this answer? So it's just like any, international university interview or any alumni interview with international students. It will be just like that. So if you are thorough with your detailed application form, you can sail the game of interview over there, and they'll test your personality over there. So that is the synopsis of APPSC, I can tell. Yeah.
You mentioned about textbooks when you were talking about your strategy. But I'm sure there is a lot of material available outside for UPSC or APPSC. So what do you think students should stick to? Can they go with the materials that are available outside, or how is it?
The material is the gist of the textbooks itself. So there won't be anything new. Only updated thing is current affairs. So once you are updated, you are updating yourself with newspapers and with the current affairs magazine like Yojana. So there is no need of any material, obviously. But you need to be sticking mostly with NCERTs. So, and especially for UPSC, there will be some standard textbooks. Like for polity, there is Lakshmikant. Likewise, for each subject, there will be one or the other standard book. So you can stick with standard books and NCERT textbooks and Telugu Academy textbook. That itself will do. So, but the only thing that matters here is lots of re-revisions, because polity, economy are very dynamic subjects, and the static part of the subject is also pretty huge. It's very tough to remember articles, very tough to remember subparticles, subsections, sub-articles, and where is what, and mostly it will be very confused because the subjects are so dry. The static parts. The dynamic parts will be pretty interesting, but again, static and dynamic questions both will play an equivalent role in prelims and mains. So students will get lost with in the ocean of materials actually, because there are so many out there. There are institutions from letter A to letter Z, and obviously, but students should pick textbooks. And I do suggest that textbook reading is must, and textbook revision is must. Revision in the sense not 2 or 3 revisions, it is multiple revisions, literally 10 to 15 times you need to re-revise every textbook over there. Then we'll be strong with the basics. Once you are strong with basics, every question can be answered. Every question can be answered. If not answered, I can staunchly say every question can be dealt very easily. So that itself will give confidence to the student. So what generally happens with students is the same mistake. The grave mistake is they'll follow the materials and they'll overlook the textbooks. So when that happens, they dig their own graves, obviously, and they'll fall into the trap of reading updated materials in the market. Again, after 6 months the material will get changed, after 6 months the material will get changed. So it's nothing, it is just the static part of textbook added with current affairs, so which you can do on your own and you can study on your own. So I'll suggest every student, every aspirant, stick with textbooks and get updated with current affairs in the form of newspaper by yourself. Don't fall for the materials. So that's what I can say.
Okay, ma'am, so you were mentioning about multiple revisions. How to handle that? I mean, read the textbook multiple times or have a notes kind of thing that you can revise quickly. So how which is better?
Yeah, so it is like as I said, multiple revisions. So obviously you can't read cover to cover every time you revise. So the main part of revision and re-revision is consolidation of your textbook into very simpler forms. So that is the main role you need to do being an aspirant. So let us say your textbook is of around 150 pages during your first read or second read. So from third read, obviously you will be filtering out some pages, like let us say 30 pages have been filtered out, and again 120 pages you need to read for next revision, and next revision onwards the 120 will become still lesser, obviously 90 pages, and during fifth or sixth revision entire textbook can be consolidated into 3 or 4 pages. So that 3 or 4 pages you can re-revise multiple times per year each attempt. And here let me tell you regarding attempts as well. So as the examination is very tough, just like IIT people will go for extra attempts, or NEET people will go for extra attempts, here also the attempts will be more and people will take many multiple attempts, because getting in first attempts is pretty tough. So people will go for attempts, and for every attempt it is an iteration of 2 years, 2 years long process. Again you need to sit through various stages, again from stage 1 onwards. Again even though you have gone till interview and you haven't qualified, again you need to write prelims for next stage, and again you need to go from basics again. So every time your textbook reading, your textbook revision, and your consolidated material from textbook by yourself plays a key role. So consolidating textbook into simpler forms is the key. And every year, apart from textbooks, you need to read current affairs. Obviously, every day the pile of current affairs will get bigger and bigger, and you need to read monthly magazines. And apart from that, one should read economic survey of India. At the same time, Andhra Pradesh Socio-Economic Survey, that also should be given a read or multiple reads. So every year they'll change. It will be pretty dynamic. So consolidating the notes or consolidating the textbook plays a major role.
Ma'am, are there some things that students should not do at all? Like they should avoid doing such things, something like that?
Yeah, definitely. So there are many things. So with my own experience, I can tell you, because I'm a loser first, then I'm an achiever. So everywhere I lost at various stages, and I achieved some other thing immediately. So that is my life journey. So I can tell you what not to do much more in greater way than what to do first of all. So most of the students, they'll do a grave mistake of studying continuously for 8 to 10 hours, and not even watching a movie, not even watching web series. They'll do a continuous preparation of 4 5 days or 6 days, and they'll aloof themselves. They won't go to functions, or they won't go to family gatherings, and they won't go out and play their casual games, or they'll stop. Suddenly they are PUBG addicts and suddenly they'll stop. They'll convert themselves into bookathon people and they'll read books continuously. So that is one of the grave mistake people will do. So obviously you shouldn't be reading that much. So if you read that much, you'll exhaust, obviously, and or you'll get demotivated. No one can study 14-15 hours per day. No one can be that motivated continuously 365 days. We are, after all, we are human beings. Obviously we'll get tempted for many things and we'll give up on many things. So that is our nature. So if you are an aspirant, so my sincere suggestion is, make a doable goal. First of all, the goal should be doable. So daily, for any student, daily 8 hours is doable. It is just 1/3 of your day. Again, you will get 2/3 of your day out of 24 hours. 8 hours you can sleep, 8 hours you can do whatever you want, but still you got 8 hours to study. That should be your motto. 1/3 of the day, utilize 1/3 of the day. That's it. And one more thing I'll also tell, keep 1 hour of entertainment. If you don't keep 1 hour for your entertainment, we can never cope up with such a stress, such a consistency and continuous motivation. So one entertainment hour is pretty much required. So if you are an let us say if you are a PUBG player, play 1 hour of PUBG daily, and then read 8 hours. So there is no harm in it. And if you are a movie buff, watch 1 hour of movie today and read 8 hours. If you are a web series eater, then obviously daily watch one web series, one episode, and you do your 8 hours of study. If you are a reel maker, do reels or YouTube videos for 1 hour and study for 8 hours. So that should be your aim. Like, you shouldn't aloof entertainment totally. And one more thing also suggest is, keep half an hour as worry hour in your life. So because people will have so many worries. We don't know what will happen to our examination, what will happen to our results. We'll be very anxious. We'll always keep worrying about many things. At that point of time, they also don't know whether their crush will accept their request on Facebook or not, or Insta or not. Or if they have a boyfriend, girlfriend, they don't know whether they'll marry them or they'll marry someone. They need to continuously impress them. So, or if you are a girl of age, obviously your parents want to marry you off, but you want to stick and study UPSC or APPSC. If you are boy of age, then people will pressurize you why you are not getting any job. Instead of UPSC or APPSC, do some bank coaching and join some bank clerical job somewhere. At least you'll get settled. So all these pressures will be there, because that is the prime time where you need to settle also, where you need to have girlfriend, boyfriend also, where you need to study 8 hours per day also, where you need to conquer world also. So these very things will be there. So my suggestion is, keep half an hour daily for worrying. Whatever worries you have, worry for half an hour. Then after worrying, imagine them and worry for half an hour. After half an hour, you'll realize there is nothing you can do apart from studying, obviously. So that worries you, then that's it. You are giving half an hour for your worries, and after that, no more worries. You need to enjoy your study, sit and study for 8 hours. So you need to have one entertainment hour of 1 hour and worry hour of half an hour. And another half an hour, I'll suggest you talk with your loved ones, be it your mom, your dad, your siblings, your friends, or whatnot, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, or your in-laws, whatever it is. You need to talk for half an hour with them. At least, because they are the ones who will support you when your morale is down. At least 1 or 2 will be there. They'll always be there supporting. Others might pinch us as well, but still there will be 1 or 2 in the family. They'll continuously support you. So you need to talk with them. That will give you a morale boost. You will still be connected with the family, still be connected with the society. And after these, study, entertainment hour, worry hour, and talking with your loved ones, that will, and studying for 8 hours, that will, give you a very good, idealistic plate of food. Just like that, you'll have proteins, carbs, fats in equal quantities. Then only your hunger will be satiated. If not, you'll always be hungry. So just like that, in life also, every day, if you do all the things, then only you will reach success and you will become an achiever. If not, you are aloofing yourself, or you are worrying too much, you are anxious, you can't maintain consistency. So motivation and consistency can be maintained only if you are entertained daily. That is also there. So if you are aloofing your entertainment factor totally, so there is no point in life, right? So if you are not allowed to eat what you want, if you are not allowed to watch what you want to watch, so eventually you'll feel, what is the purpose of this life? Only APPSC or IIT or NEET. So that's not life, obviously. That is part and parcel of life. So in my perspective, it's just part and parcel. So you need to give main importance to it, definitely. But at the same time, you need to fulfill other requirements in life as well. So that is the one thing you shouldn't do. You shouldn't get aloof, or you shouldn't be, feeding yourself of continuous preparation for 3 or 4 days. I know students will prepare continuous 20 hours. I don't know what will go into their brain. Continuous 20 hours, which human being can study, right? And again, they'll sleep for 10 hours. So there is no balance only. So this is the balanced way of preparation. 8 hours is doable, and 1 hour of entertainment. When that is also, again, I need to say, responsible entertainment hour. Again, 1 hour shouldn't become 1.5 hours. It should be 1 hour, and you should stick to it. That's it. Every day you can have your one golden hour. Whatever you want, you can do. And again, half an hour of letting out your anxiousness, and half an hour of talking to your loved ones. So this will fulfill the continuous loop of preparation. And obviously, students who are doing this can become achievers.
Yeah, I think we can say that a balance of all human necessities, basically your effort, your recreation, your worry time, your emotional bonding, everything should be in balance. Only then we can achieve consistency.
True. That too, for examinations like these, which are very competitive and very, they require very lengthy preparations for years. Like I can see students preparing for IIT from 6th class. Now they are UPSC aspirants from 6th class as well. Everywhere, integrated intermediate and UPSC, integrated degree and UPSC colleges were there in Andhra and in North as well. So people are starting preparation at very early ages for these examinations because of huge competition out there. So, okay, you start early, you'll definitely get an edge. I do agree. But if you miss out that balance, you can never reach the goal. That's what I meant to say. The balance should always be there to actually face the competition and to remain in the competition and to achieve the competition as well.
Yeah. Ma'am, so we were talking about the one extreme of the spectrum where people spend too long hours in preparing. Now there is the other end of the spectrum, because this is an age of distractions. We have social media, YouTube, everything, OTT, everything is there. So how do you stay focused? How should an aspirant stay focused in such an era?
So then limit your entertainments, limit your distractions. As I'm saying, if you don't give too much of attention to them, first of all, and obviously your way of other world, or your wormholes, let us say, your wormholes are your mobile phone and your laptop. Obviously, these two will take you to other alter universes where you can be anything you want. You can post, you can filter out all the stupid pics you have taken, and you can pose yourself as Miss World and Miss Universe over there, obviously. So, this can happen. And this is called the constant attention for validation in psychology. So you need to get validated by your peer group continuously in the form of likes or in the form of comments. So you will do so many things just to attract their attention. So it is there in basic animal instinct, the instinct of validation. Even lions also prefer the same. The lion should get validation from a group of lionesses. So then only it will be declared as the master line, and it will have around 10 lionesses towards it. Entire lions group will go and hunt together, and all the lionesses will hunt actually, and they'll feed the lion usually.
Yeah.
The lion will come to hunt at the last because it has been declared itself as a master. So that's how basic animal instinct is validation. So it is the unknown or subconscious need or craving for validation that will make the students, or that will make the other end of the spectrum, as you have told, as you have correctly put it into right terms. So where you want to get super likes, or you want to get noticed, or you want much greater attention towards yourself, so you will be there on Facebook or Insta or whatever social media out there, and you can be anything you want. In real life you can't be that thing, so in the form of filters or in the form of anything over there. So only once you actually rethink your options, so what I'll get if I become a no, I'm not saying again influencing is bad. Obviously there are great influencers from our country. Carrie Minati is there, and so many people from across the world who are YouTube influencers and who are earning more than anyone can imagine. Obviously that is also true, but if you want to become a YouTuber, please go ahead and do that. Don't fall into this competitive world or rat race. So but if you are aiming for it, don't fall for that validation game, and you can become an influencer in later stages of life. At currently prepare for competitive exam, that's what, because the examination needs 8 hours or 8 to 10 hours of study. Even let it be NEET or let it be IIT or let it be UPSC or APPSC, it requires that amount of minimal time or minimal dedication per day. So if you are not an aspirant, don't take up that only. Go and study diplomas in YouTube video creation or Insta Reels creation. They're also there currently. They're also becoming famous. So be an content creator, be an art director. So you should be aiming for. If your goal is that thing, please go do it. I'm not denying not to do it. Please do it. But if your goal is not that, then you need to restrict yourself. There is no other goal. In your 1 hour of entertainment you can do that, but remaining 8 hours you need to dedicate yourself for the study, and you need to keep yourself aloof from all the distractive things like mobile phone or laptop for 8 hours when you are preparing. And remaining time though anyhow you have, then you can I'm not telling to avoid or to lock your mobile up, don't do that, but you have anyhow end up with time to look into your mobile, look into your laptop per day, but limit the consumption of data or limit the consumption of usage. That is the ultimate goal or ultimate aim, right? If you are aiming for this competitive exams, no, if you want to become a YouTuber or an influencer, aim for it. Obviously, why you again want to fall into this? And but let me tell you, don't balance both. It will be pretty tough. Yeah.
Ma'am, you were mentioning about people who have spent almost 10 years of their life preparing for UPSC. So do you think that is a good way to approach a goal?
Yeah, actually, see, UPSC gives itself attempts in various years. Like, for example, for OC, there is currently 6 years, I guess, and for OBC, 8 years, and for SC/ST category, I think around 9 years, and for physically handicapped category, I think around 10 plus years. So, based on the attempts only, people will prepare. Usually, see what happens no in one or the other attempt. So if you are a near miss, let us say you missed being an IAS officer with 1 or 2 marks in your interview, so again eventually you might be losing hope for a month or two. Again your mind will, because you have that zeal, you have that enthusiasm, again you will revamp totally and you will start preparation. So that ray of hope will always be generated because you are an aspirant, you know how to prepare obviously. So if you give one more attempt, you might succeed, right?
Yes.
That ray of hope will always be there. But as you put the question very correctly, that spending 10 years, is it worth it? So it depends on person to person again. So if your ultimate aim is to become a government official, and or most importantly civil servant, so obviously you should do it. I'll suggest do it. But at the same time, parallelly, please pursue some some certification courses, some PGs, or some value added courses to your graduation. Let us say you are an UPSC aspirant, you have done your graduation in BSc biotechnology, but your optional is some anthropology or psychology. Do some NPTEL certification courses, or do one more PG. So what happens, no, even though after 10 years, if you end up losing all your attempts on not becoming a civil servant, then these certifications will help you in coping up with the society. So yeah, they'll keep you updated. You can be ready for the markets. You can join any private organization, or you can opt for any other jobs in the market which require these certifications. So I suggest all the aspirants, if you are aiming for multiple attempts, go for it. But at the same time, parallelly be ready with certifications or upskilling your knowledge. That's what I meant to say. If you upskill your knowledge continuously, then you will be ready for any market, even if you miss this. So there won't be any difference. You'll immediately get placed at some MNC and you'll be paid well, and you will you'll settle in your life. So that is also a good path.
Yeah. So basically, a backup plan is necessary.
Exactly. I always suggest, because see, out of for APPSC around 4 to 5 lakhs people will write. For UPSC around 9 to 10 lakhs people will attempt. So hardly 100 or 150 will qualify. What will happen to others if they don't have a backup plan, obviously? So one should have a backup plan. They should be ready with certifications. They should be ready with qualifications to face the world. If not, it will become pretty tough. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So, ma'am, like you mentioned, this process is very long, at least a 2-year process, and there'll be a lot of times when you'll feel depressed.
Yes.
And it's not like, as you said, we are humans, and depression is also normal to happen. That too, when you're putting a lot of effort and the result is very far away. How to cope up with such emotions?
Yeah. So this is one of the very frequent questions I'll get asked by students as well. So for them, I always suggest inculcate a good hobby. These hobbies will actually take you to alter worlds. Like if you are a reading enthusiast, read some novels, good novels. And as I again said, if you are a movie buff, watch some good movies. They'll for that 2 or 3 hours you'll forget your what the world you are living in. You will go into that movie world. You will believe what is happening there, and you can forget all the worries, and you can reimagine things. You can fight with the dragons. You can be queen or king in your imaginations, and you can come back. So this will help you keep motivated. So only I suggested everyday entertainment hour and Varia. So what happens is, if you continuously dwell on one thing, obviously you'll be obsessed, or you'll be anxious, or you always eventually feel depressed. Why I'm not getting, let us say, continuously in your mock test or something, you are getting pretty low score. Obviously you'll end up depressed. So one way of coping up depression is inculcating very good hobby. That is one thing. Keep yourself motivated by talking with the family. That is one thing. And one more thing is reading. Studying even though you are depressed is one good thing, because see, once you study more, just like people will say who will exercise, right? There are happy hormones which will get released if you finish a task, right? Obviously you read something that day, that will give again your happy hormones will be generated. You'll feel happy again. So it is a game of continuous studying. So even though you are depressed, if you study, you'll feel happy. So that's the tricky part. People will miss that part. If they are depressed, they'll go and sleep. That is not important. You need to study even though you are depressed. That is important. You need to fulfill small tasks. Like, let us study only one page today, and you finish that task again. Yeah, you'll have your happy hormones generated. You'll feel much more motivated. So, break big tasks into very smaller tasks. Use Pomodoro technique. Read just 20 minutes. Start with just 20 minutes per day. And then increase your series of 20 minutes. then eventually you can conquer that day's timetable. And if you fall into the path again within a day or two, again you'll continue with your studying. There is no looking back. So that's always I'll say, start with very small steps. So even though you are feeling not at all, I feel studying today, then start with a newspaper will be a little bit entertaining. You can read a little bit of politics or movie reviews, and then editorial, and then start studying. Eventually you'll get back in the track, or read some Yojana magazine. That also will do. So all these things will help you cope up your depression.
So one other thing is the kind of pressure that society brings in. Like you mentioned, when a person is not settled and there is like you're putting your effort, but the result is not yet out, and there'll be a lot of questions. When are you settling? Why are you doing all this? You can go for a simple job. You can go for the software job, bank job, all this. How to deal or not dealing with those persons as such? How to deal this pressure as an aspirant?
Yeah. So again, we talked about it, Lalita. That's why I told specifically every day to keep a worry. So half an hour you worry about everything, because it is a society. Obviously, its job is to tell you what to do. So everyone in the society will tell you what to do, what not to do. If you are not getting a rank in UPSC, they'll immediately suggest go for another small examination while you are preparing for UPSC. So the thing is, the motto you have, the perspective you have might not be the same as society is expecting. So they want you to do something practical, or to go and earn immediately, rather than for them it is a time waste. The preparation itself is a time waste. So they'll immediately say, why you are wasting time, you can go and earn and be helpful to your father. That is one simple sentence they'll use. So but they don't know your ulterior motives. So very few people have ulterior motives, and many of them will become great people. I do believe that. And so in order to fulfill your ulterior motives, you need to overlook them first of all, and you need to cope up with all those pressures. The pressure will always be there. We can talk later about the society, but we need to face pressure from our family itself. When we are getting money every month from our father or mother, every month they need to send you some money. They'll ask directly or indirectly, how are you studying, beta? So this time to ho jayega na hamara, obviously. So those are the questions our father or mother will ask indirectly. So we need to answer them. We should be answerable for them. We'll again ourselves be in such a pressure of competition, and upar se, this pressure also will get added. So obviously the person who is preparing, the aspirants who are preparing, are pretty great in my opinion, because they need to deal with all these friends, that too at very prime age, when they need to settle. As I said, many different friends. They need to fulfill their girlfriends and boyfriends wants and wishes. They need to fulfill parents' wishes. At the same time, they need to settle off. At the same time, they're aspiring for UPSC. So it is multidimensional. So I'll say the aspirants are nothing less than superhumans, obviously. So being a superhuman, so you'll be the Batman and you need to save Gotham, right? So obviously, likewise, you should be Batman for your life, and you should face all of them from every front, and you should be always self-motivated. At the same time, you shouldn't get depressed by such words. You should inculcate the strong willpower that you will do eventually, and you need to cope up that societal pressure by ignoring mostly. If it is from our family, only by making them understand that this is a long and huge process, so it will take time. Okay, you'll see results. Please wait. You can make them understand. They'll definitely understand, and they'll wait for it. But you can't let everyone in the society understand it, obviously. So please keep ignoring and do your job of studying 8 hours, obviously. Keep yourself entertained and be motivated. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am, one last question I have regarding strategy. So is there a strategy where aspirants can crack APPSC in the first attempt itself, or is it an ambitious goal? Patience is it?
No, people definitely can crack it in first attempt. There will be at any point given time or any point of time, around 10 to 20% are first attempters. Obviously, those who qualified, 10 to 20% are from first attempt. So it is not an ambitious goal. It requires pre-planning, proper planning, and long-term planning. So if you are aiming for APPSC or UPSC for a very long time, especially you are a graduate student, let us say. So from first year of graduation, you got the awareness, and you are watching videos like these from various toppers, obviously. And if you follow the strategy or goals, you got the understanding of the questions or the way of examination of UPSC or APPSC. That will give you an overall picture. You can start your preparation very early, so that will give you an edge. Obviously, for 3 or 4 years of your graduation, you can finish off with standard textbooks, basic NCRTs, and previous year questions, and then give yourself one whole preparation, one whole year of sole preparation, and then get into the game of writing an examination. Obviously, with one attempt you can do it. So that can be possible, but it requires a lot of pre-plan. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So it's really not ambitious, but you need a lot of planning to handle your time
Exactly.
Got it. So, ma'am, when you were preparing, during your preparation time, so what was your family status? Are you married, or how was it?
Yeah, I'm married. I have a kid, actually. So, and I'm working as well. So yeah, it becomes, again, very tough for especially women with family. So I have been married since 10 years, and my kid is around 1.5 year old. So almost 2 years old. So during my core preparation, obviously I have kid as well. I have, I'm married as well, but I've done, all these things after my marriage, obviously. So those, the working women aspirants over there. So for them, I just want to tell you, create some support ecosystems in your life, where eventually, you'll get support from your husband, you'll get support from your in-laws, your family. So if you make them sit and explain, what is your goal, what is your ambition, and why you want to prepare for such a prestigious examination. So if that is your goal, if you can explain, they'll understand, and you can easily cope up, work at every front. So only thing is continuous motivation. Your motivation will definitely make you face the family. Motivation will make you face the current work and current employees, and eventually finding time of 5 to 6 hours daily, and then writing this examination. So it again sums up back to your continuous motivation. Yeah.
Yes. Ma'am, so you were talking about the support ecosystem.
Yeah.
So how important is it, let's say family support or anything, how important is it for a working woman who's attempting such competitive exams?
Yeah, it is totally important. Without them, we can't do anything, obviously, because being women is totally another ball game. Being working women is another ball game, and that too, being working women aspirant and a mother is another different ball game. So the dependence on you will become increase at every point of stage. So if you are a stay-at-home mom, obviously you need to have 24/7. You need to look at it, look at different courses happening in the house, and you need to take care of many responsibilities. But let us say you are a working woman. Obviously, you need to go out. You need to take the you need to take care of your work responsibilities as well as family responsibilities. At the same time, you are a working mom and an aspirant, so you have various friends where your responsibilities will increase. So you need to satisfy every front of your life. At the same time, you can't leave them aloof and or set them free, and you can't do your own work. Obviously, you need to manage all those. But I believe women are born managers, obviously. So if you see our mom or grandmothers, they'll manage households. Even if our let us say our monthly kirana falls short, or if there is no money to buy something, let us say in our households, during our grandmother era, they'll make something. They'll take tamarind, they'll make some rasam, they'll make rice, and they'll feed us, obviously. Or if there is short of something, let us say if they have given you some money for partying, obviously they'll adjust that money at some other place. right? That is how women are born managers. Management is within the blood of women. I do believe that. And so I think, so if women really wants, so creating these ecosystems can be very easy for them. And if they have created such support ecosystems, they can be toppers, obviously. Yeah.
Yes. I think that's a good motivation, ma'am, and a message for all the working women out there, obviously.
Yeah.
Ma'am, that brings me to a sensitive question. So, when a woman is having ambitious goals and once she gets married or once she has kids, there would be a lot of criticism coming in saying, why do you have to put so much effort on your career? You can relax a bit. You should be taking care of your kids. And I mean, obviously, a mother will be having some sort of guilt when she's working. And such criticism increases that. How to handle this or how to deal with this?
Yeah. So let me tell you, we are in a society. The society is very diverged as well here. So some societal people, they love working women, and
Yes.
some part of society will love the women who are stay-at-home moms, obviously. So the society is very diverse. So we can never fulfill the aims and ambitions of society. That is always there. But both are very great. I think staying at home and managing kids itself is one of the greatest jobs, and it is not everyone's cup of tea. Let me tell you. I have been a mother, and I have been a working mom, but I respect the mothers who stay at home and take care of their kids 24/7. It's one of the hectic job and very undervalued job in the society.
Yes.
If we calculate the pay for them, I think no one can ever able to repay them, obviously. So that is the amount of work stay-at-home mothers will do, but no one values their work, unfortunately. But coming to working women again, keeping their kids at home and going outside and presenting themselves towards to the work, and at the same time missing their kids, and as you said, facing the criticism of leaving their kids and going into the society, that itself is again another ball game. That requires guts, and women will become super women over there. They'll manage household also, somehow they'll take time and go to work also, somehow they'll manage that project and they'll present well also. So all these things will happen, and I guess only women can do it. So only God also thought that she's capable to manage more, so only that extra burden of maintaining family has been given to women. So but jokes apart, but it's very serious, very tough, and very responsible job to manage home. And the criticisms will always be there, even if it is from our close ones or from society. But for every woman, don't ever feel depressed or don't ever feel small, whether you are a stay-at-home mom or whether you are a working mom. Feel free. Whatever you are doing in the walk of life is up to you. Your choice matters the most. If you feel like staying at home and raising kids, please do it. If you feel like going out there working, work your heart out over there. Don't bother about society. And criticisms to aate jate rehte hain. There is no end to it, obviously. But only thing you should be proud of is you are managing so many fronts, which is not done by many people in the society. So that you should be always proud of, and having that zeal and motivation after that criticism also matters. Women are so good and so stubborn at having that motivation. I do believe that. So only women can achieve greater heights. And yeah, you can do whatever you feel like. Your choice is the ultimate guideline or pathway for you to go through. Yeah.
Wonderful, ma'am. Wonderful. Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to share with us, ma'am? What are your hobbies?
That's it.
Anything like that?
Yeah, in detailed application form DAF, one of the main thing we'll get asked is our hobbies. So based
Okay.
on hobbies also we'll get questions usually. So I
Okay.
have varied hobbies, very different hobbies. So the first and foremost hobby I gave them is coffee tasting. So
Okay.
I'm a coffee taster actually. I taste different brews. I taste different coffee beans, and I taste mix and match of brews, and I'll find out the floral notes, the fruity notes of a coffee brew, and so that is my hobby. So if a
Wow.
coffee, the same, if brewed at various temperature, it will taste differently. At
Okay.
various methods, it will taste differently. So that is always there, and I want to taste all of those. So that is one of my hobby I gave them that. One more hobby I'm having is I'm a poetry writer. So I'm a published
Wow.
poet obviously, and I published many books in poetry as well. So then I was asked in my interview regarding my poetry and regarding various forms of poetry as well. So I got the question about limericks. So
Okay.
in my interview, so what are limericks? Then I told what are limericks. It is a funny kind of poetry. It is also called mm, if you tell criticism in a very funny way, it is called a limerick. So usually we all will be knowing one limerick by heart, that is Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, the
Yes.
poem which we'll study in our in our kindergartens. um, Obviously that is an example for limerick. So I have been asked that question in the examination. I'm also a fish hobbyist obviously. And I like to raise fishes at my
Oh.
home. So not fishes in the sense goldfishes or small fishes, not like that. So I used to tame monster fishes like arowanas or red tail catfishes. They need very huge tanks, and they need very different temperatures. Their feed should be very different. So I'm very enthusiastic about that, because it is a very different world actually. Again, at correct temperature, they should be kept, and few days of temperature should be correct, and they should be mixed with some amount of salt in the water, and the salt should be very specific. They should be fed very particularly. So it is again another different ball game. So I have various hobbies. So I have presented them with various hobbies. I got many questions from my hobbies as well. So I have many hobbies, many such weird hobbies. So and I'm a very good book reader, obviously bookworm, you can say. I'll read everything, every fantasy book in the market. I'm a big Potterhead. So I have
Wow.
read Harry Potter multiple times. I've watched Harry Potter multiple times. If you quiz me on Harry Potter, I can end up answering every question of it. So so I'm a big Potterhead. I'm a cinephile, obviously. I love movies. I'm a web series monster. I love watching web series. So I have ample of hobbies. So that always keeps me motivated actually. So that's what I'll tell students, to inculcate hobbies. If you do many different things in the walks of life, you'll be continuously motivated. Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to share with us, ma'am? What are your hobbies?
That's it.
Anything like that?
Yeah, in detailed application form DAF, one of the main thing we'll get asked is our hobbies. So based on
Okay.
hobbies also we'll get questions usually. So I
Okay.
have varied hobbies, very different hobbies. So the first and foremost hobby I gave them is coffee tasting. So
Okay.
I'm a coffee taster actually. I taste different brews. I taste different coffee beans, and I taste mix and match of brews, and I'll find out the floral notes, the fruity notes of a coffee brew, and so that is my hobby. So if a
Wow.
coffee, the same, if brewed at various temperature, it will taste differently. At
Okay.
various methods, it will taste differently. So that is always there, and I want to taste all of those. So that is one of my hobby I gave them that. One more hobby I'm having is I'm a poetry writer. So I'm a published
Wow.
poet obviously, and I published many books in poetry as well. So then I was asked in my interview regarding my poetry and regarding various forms of poetry as well. So I got the question about limericks. So
Okay.
in my interview, so what are limericks? Then I told what are limericks. It is a funny kind of poetry. It is also called mm, if you tell criticism in a very funny way, it is called a limerick. So usually we all will be knowing one limerick by heart, that is Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall,
Yeah.
the poem which we'll study in our in our kindergartens. Obviously that is an example for limerick. So I have been asked that question in the examination. I'm also a fish hobbyist, obviously. And I like to raise fishes at my
Oh.
home. So not fishes in the sense goldfishes or small fishes, not like that. So I used to tame monster fishes like arowanas or red tail catfishes. They need very huge tanks, and they need very different temperatures. Their feed should be very different. So I'm very enthusiastic about that, because it is a very different world actually. Again, at correct temperature they should be kept, and few days of temperature should be correct, and they should be mixed with some amount of salt in the water, and salt should be very specific. They should be fed very particularly. So it is again another different ball game. So I have various hobbies. So I have presented them with various hobbies. I got many questions from my hobbies as well. So I have many hobbies, many such weird hobbies. So and I'm a very good book reader, obviously bookworm, you can say. I'll read everything, every fantasy book in the market. I'm a big Potterhead. So I have read Harry Potter multiple times. I've watched Harry Potter multiple times. If you quiz me on Harry Potter, I can end up answering every question of it. So so I'm a big Potterhead. I'm a cinephile, obviously. I love movies. I'm a web series monster. I love watching web series. So I have ample of hobbies. So that always keeps me motivated actually. So that's what I'll tell students, to inculcate hobbies. If you do many different things in the walks of life, you'll be continuously motivated. Yeah.
Okay, your hobbies are like each one is in a different direction, like there is no relation to one another. Wow.
No, there is no relation, so only that is very interesting, right? So
Yes.
that will break the monotony. Yeah.
And few of them, like coffee tasting, I am not even aware that such hobbies exist.
Yeah.
I think very varied. Wow. I think, like you said, I think that's what keeps you energetic, or like you have kept talking throughout the interview. I don't know where you're getting the energy from at this time.
Thank you. That is my nature of job as well. I'm an academician, so my basic job is to teach kids, obviously. I can teach for hours. So around 7 to 8 hours. There are times where I taught continuously for 6 hours or 7 hours. Wow. So I can give interview for 6 hours if you have ample of time to take.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. So, ma'am, is there anything you would like to share with us apart from all the things we have discussed?
Yeah, obviously I want to thank my family. So that is one thing. So I got one cute and great family, obviously, and my grandparents, Sri P.L.N. Sharma Garu and Prabha, they are stalwarts of our family. They have led our family into very good direction. And my maternal uncles, Umakant Peri and Srikant Peri, they are the UPSC aspirants who instilled, the zeal of UPSC indirectly into me when they are studying. So that is also one thing. And obviously my grandparents played a major role, and my uncles played a major role. My uncles, Umakant Peri and Srikant Peri. So, and Srikant Peri, Umakant Peri is one of the famous figure in both the states of Andhra and Telangana as well. So he actually won huge amounts of sum during first season of Milo Evra Kotishwarudu, and even Nagarjuna Garu gave him the title of Acharya Umakant because he used to say answers without even putting options in Milo Evra Kotishwarudu. So Nagarjuna sir was very amused with his knowledge, and he gave him that title. And so then next day he became an overnight sensation in both the states, and people were talking about him. You can Google him out. So he'll be there and in whole Google. Obviously, Umakant Peri. He was my mentor during my preparation as well. Okay. So he used to correct my answers. He used to guide me. So he played a major role. And coming to my parents, Rani Srinivasu and Rani Padmapriya. Both of them, they have dedicated their lives towards the kids' education. I have one younger sibling, Rani Shruti. She's also happily married. She's having one kid as well. So she also played a major role in my success, and my in-laws and my husband, Ravikant Kambatla. So he is my pillar of support. He was dealing with me and my studies since starting stages. I was doing my PhD while uh, I was being married, and after that I finished my PhD. I was into preparation. I was doing jobs. So he encouraged me every walk of life, and my small kid as well. So because of I'm doing all these things, I'm getting trained, and in between I need to attend mocks or I need to attend interviews. So my kid got adjusted with my mother. So my mom is raising him now, just like me, because I was raised by my grandmother. So yeah, so he also gives me my time, so that I can go and make a difference in the world. So I was very thankful for him as well, and for my husband and my in-laws and everyone, my friends, my family. They're always supported me in every walk of life. So I'm very grateful for them, because of them I'm here today. So I'm very grateful. Yeah.
Beautiful, really beautiful. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for inspiring all our viewers. I think I've learned a lot in this video, definitely, and I'm sure all our viewers are also going to learn a lot, get inspired from you. So, thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you for bearing with me even though I postponed it a couple of times. And thank you for the wonderful questions. I enjoyed every question, answering every question of yours as well. And thank you for this informal, friendly interaction. And hope the people who are viewing have some doubts, you can get back to me or get back to the channel owners or anything. Like, I'm ready to take up your answers and to give answers to your queries with regard to APPSC. You're always welcome. And good luck with your preparations. Good luck with your walks of life. And I hope you'll definitely achieve greater heights in your lives, and you will stand as examples as well. And one day you'll get interviewed by Lalita as well. Yeah, good luck to you all. And thank you, Lalita, for such a wonderful interview.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So that's it, viewers. So like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You can comment your queries on under the channel. Thank you so much.